At the beginning of the movie, we enter the print shop of a fashionable glossy magazine. A 40-year-old woman named Alice is arguing with her employees, believing that the color of the cover on the screen and in life is too different. The man is sure that no one will notice the difference, and his people are already tired of endlessly redesigning copies, but the heroine remains adamant. Alice, who finds herself on a business trip to Brazil, learns that her boss communicates only with Liz and even took her to dinner with important people. The heroine goes to the airport and on the airplane puts a large plush parrot on the shelf. Meanwhile, one of the passengers realizes that his seat has been taken. The stewardess escorts Balthazar to business class and sits him next to the heroine, who tries to get away from the red-haired man's offer to have dinner after arriving in Paris. During the flight, the guy amuses himself on the seat, preventing Alice from working. When the turbulent zone begins, the heroine is very nervous. Balthazar tries to distract her and calm her down, but suddenly the lights go out. Frightened, Alice grabs the guy's hand. Soon the plane lands in Paris. When Alice is about to get off, the guy thanks her for a pleasant flight and calls his name. Unexpectedly, Balthazar notices that the heroine has forgotten a flash drive on her seat. The guy tries to catch up with Alice, but he is prevented by the seatbelts. Meanwhile, the heroine meets her friend Elizabeth. In the car, Alice gives her daughter a large plush parrot. Balthazar runs after the heroine, but does not have time to hand over the flash drive he found. The guy is taken away by his father, Luke, who arrived in a luxurious convertible. On the way, Elizabeth insistently offers the heroine to meet Richard at dinner. Alice refuses as she doesn't like the prospect of getting involved with a doctor for women. The heroine gets to the office, where the girls discuss that she hasn't dated anyone in 7 years. The secretary informs her that Alice is getting a call from Mr. Apfel about a flash drive, but she doesn't know such a last name, and therefore doesn't pick up the phone. The heroine goes in to see her boss, and is angry that he handed over the management of the magazine to Liz. Vincent explains that the girl impressed him with her passion for life, which means that she will be able to impress the readers as well. He offers Alice a job as an editor at Fireplace World magazine. Vincent is sure that this is a good idea, since there is less work there, which means that the heroine will be able to spend more time with her family. Alice refuses this proposal. In the evening, her ex-husband Julien visits the heroine. He picks up his daughter on a moped, before which he receives a neck massage from the heroine. The heroine still discovers the flash drive is missing and calls Mr. Apfel back. Balthazar picks up the phone and suggests meeting at the bar he is currently at. When Alice arrives, the guy introduces her to his friends from the architectural. The heroine's colleagues are surprised to notice her in the bar with such a young man. Having learned that the flash drive is at the guy's house, Alice suggests not wasting time and going there. Balthazar offers to get there on a moped and fastens a helmet on the heroine. Alice's co-workers take a photo, amazed at what they see, and tweet it out. At home, Balthazar introduces the heroine to Luke and his new girlfriend. She turns out to be Anissa, with whom the guy studied at school. Luke asks the heroine to evaluate his new advertisement. Alice is struck by the vulgarity of the commercial, but says that there is something in it. Balthazar finds a flash drive in the room and gives it to the heroine. After saying goodbye to her, Balthazar, a little nervously, suggests that they get together sometime for coffee or something else. However, Alice refuses, saying that this is not her style. The next day at work, the heroine notices strange looks from her colleagues. The secretary shows Alice her photo with a guy at the moped. To the heroine's surprise, this news makes Vincent delighted, and he asks her to continue in the same spirit. Alice's colleague and friend Simon suggests that she come with Balthazar to a party sometime. Alice accepts this advice. The next day, the heroine appears at Balthazar's college in a new image. Alice tries to behave relaxed and offers to have coffee in the evening. Balthazar starts to talk about the test, but almost immediately changes his mind and informs that he is free and will be glad to meet. Back home, Alice learns from her daughter about modern bands. In the evening, the heroine meets Balthazar and takes him to an exhibition. Alice's colleagues candidly consider the man. When the exhibit host Claude asks the guy's opinion, he states that people aren't interested in looking at just the face of one person who can't solve his confession problems. Alice settles the situation, but says it's not customary to tell the truth in places like this. Balthazar is angry as he knows truly talented people who can't afford exhibitions. The guy is amazed to see Alice again. Liz approaches the couple and treats them to a healing substance. Balthazar refuses, but the heroine decides to take it all for herself to maintain her image. Outside, Alice receives a call from a friend who reminds her about dinner with the doctor. The heroine lies that her daughter has appendicitis, and Balthazar helps her get a cab. At dinner at Elizabeth's, Alice behaves a little swaggeringly. Then she becomes ill, which is heard by all the guests. The next day, the heroine decides to reappear with Balthazar, this time introducing him to Vincent. Putting on a revealing dress, Alice brings the guy to a fashion show. When one of the models falls, the guy helps her up. At the party after the show, Vincent asks Alice and her date to come up. When Liz starts asking uncomfortable questions, the heroine takes Balthazar away and dances with him. However, the girl tells Vincent that Alice is just putting on a show, and it's not her man. The heroine, meanwhile, notices her daughter's friends and suggests that Balthazar run away. The guy gives Alice a ride home, after which she quickly goes up to the apartment. The heroine hears a knock on the door and sees Balthazar in front of her. Recognizing that the daughter is not at home, the guy kisses Alice and goes with her to the bedroom. In the morning, the heroine is nervous and tries to chase Balthazar away, but it is raining outside. Alice sees that the boy has lost one shoe, and he puts a bag on his foot. While the heroine goes off to buy them breakfast, Balthazar finds her book, An Island Without an Ocean, and asks about it. At that moment, Alice's daughter returns home with Elizabeth. The heroine introduces Balthazar to them as her intern and escorts him out the door. At parting, Alice apologizes for what happened. At work, the heroine tells Simon what has happened. After work, Alice sees mysterious signs outside the house and finds a player under a bench. Balthazar's voice informs her that she should get on the moped and not ask the driver where they are going, but enjoy the music and the views. Alice spends the night with the guy again. The next day at work, the heroine behaves quite unusually and puts Liz in her place. Returning home, she thinks about the fact that it is necessary to tell Balthazar the truth. During the date, the guy invites Alice and her daughter to a cottage by the sea for the weekend. The heroine asks Balthazar not to rush things so much. The guy agrees to this, but confesses that he feels elated and happy since he met Alice. The heroine suddenly talks about the fact that with her it will not be possible to have fun until 3 o'clock at night or commit cute crazy things like in her youth, because she has a family and a serious job. Alice is worried about the strong age difference, believing that they have a big difference in years. The heroine suggests that Balthazar not see each other anymore. Returning home, Alice stares wistfully out the window. The next day, Simon is upset to learn about the breakup of their relationship, since with Balthazar, the heroine was happier than usual. The man hopes that Alice confess that she arranged this affair for the sake of work. Otherwise, the guy was seriously injured. From the answer, the heroine is saved by the appearance of Vincent, with the message that her new article has become very successful. Arriving at school, Alice learns that her daughter had a fight with a classmate, as the latter showed a video of Alice dancing with a young guy. Julian offers the heroine to explain to her daughter what happened then. Meanwhile, Luke leaves with his girlfriend for Bali, leaving the apartment to his son. The man says that when he was Balthazar's age, he also dated an adult woman, but after a while, he switched to younger ladies. Alice arrives at work and tries to please her boss in choosing a model for next month's magazine cover. Tracy declares that Balthazar, who she saw on the show, would be best suited for the photo. Alice tries to talk the woman out of the idea. However, Vincent comes out with the heroine in the corridor and warns that such situations bring her very close to being fired. Alice leaves the office and calls a guy. However, Balthazar does not pick up the phone as he watches TV, drinking and devouring junk food to cope with the breakup. Back home, Luke is amazed at his son's condition and asks him to take a shower. When Alice rings the doorbell, the man lends the guy his t-shirt and pretends that he was the one who drank all the alcohol since he was dumped by his girlfriend. After drinking coffee, the heroine talks about the offer to star for the cover. Balthazar gets angry and leaves, as he thought it would be about their relationship. On the day of the photo shoot, Alice does not tell her bosses to the last that the guy will not come to the photo shoot. The heroine decides to confess this to Vincent, but at this moment, the secretary informs that Balthazar has just pulled up. Luke sees his son off and wishes him good luck. The boy goes to the dressing room to prepare for the photo shoot. Soon Simon enters him and apologizes for making up the whole story. Balthazar is perplexed and asks to be a little more specific. Simon tells him that the heroine was with him for work. Balthazar comes to the set and kisses Alice in front of everyone. After that, the photo shoot begins. The photographer behaves very rudely with everyone, because of which Balthazar decides to leave. Alice runs after the guy, and he in front of everyone calls her a hypocrite who hurt his feelings for the sake of his career. Vincent fires the heroine, not forgiving her for such a lie. Alice gathers her things from work. At home, she finds Balthazar's shoe and sometimes re-listens to his recording on the audio player. Alice decides to make up with a guy and arrives at his college. In the classroom, she is accidentally mistaken for a guest lecturer. The heroine veiledly apologizes to Balthazar and says that she is ready to do anything to get him back. The couple begins a relationship again, this time for real. Alice publishes a book called The Shoe and continues to enjoy life with Balthazar. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.